Forza Motorsport 7 is an amazing game because it's an incredible simulation of racing and driving and motorsports, but it's entirely customizable as well, right? You can start with the easiest drive in the whole world, and then you can go right up to basically a real professional race driving experience, right? But that journey in between doesn't need to phase you. And I'm going to show everyone at home, and you guys as well, exactly how to do it. So tip number 1 is to customize Forza. Make Forza the game that you feel comfortable with, right? But the key thing is then to stretch yourself, because the more you stretch yourself and challenge yourself, the faster your lap times are going to be. And yeah, you know, there'll be a little bit of pain getting there. So when you start off Forza Motorsport 7, a lot of the default assists are already on, right? It feels a little bit strange. It's like the game's driving for me, right? You need to knock all that stuff off. Or get that stuff off straight away. You don't need any of those artificial assists. Artificial braking's the other one, right?
Ooh.
The game will brake for you.
Right, I did notice that.
We don't need that, right? Now, if you leave them on, your ride's going to be more stable, right? Your stopping's going to be more controlled, your car's going to be more stable, but it bleeds time off your lap times. So you need to start thinking about knocking those assists off, and that will make your car faster. It will make it harder to control, but it's going to make you faster and increase your or decrease your lap times overall. Tip number 2, and this is going to sound silly, use your brakes, people.
Come on.
Brakes are there on cars for a reason. They slow it down, they stop it, and most importantly, they help you get around corners, right?
People don't want to lose that speed, you know?
Well, that's it. But the thing about braking and good braking is actually makes you faster. So what you want to think about with braking here is keep it under control, keep it gentle, keep it gradual, and that will give you more control, which means you can get into corners faster and out of corners faster, right? And that's where it gets really important, okay? It's a point I wanted to make as well. I've got a controller here as well. These triggers on an Xbox One controller are phenomenal in terms of analog, right? They're squishy because every point in that squish is an extra point of pressure, okay? That's super important for Forza, both in braking and accelerating, because you want to use every single bit of that, okay? So it's not just on and off with brakes. Nice squeeze. As you need to slow down faster, then squeeze it even harder, and then same with acceleration out there.
And a really cool thing about the triggers, especially for Xbox One, are the impulse triggers. You feel the rumble inside of the triggers, and so that really kind of gives you cues into what you're doing when you're going around.
That's a great point, because you want to use that feedback as well. That's built into Forza, so you can feel what's happening within your wheels, you can feel where your braking points are, and that's really important. So right, and now the other thing about braking points, braking, which is going to take us on to our next point, is braking points, right? Learning where on every track, on every corner, you need to be applying those brakes rather than just trying to like make it up as you go along, okay? Which brings us to point 3, or tip 3, which is learn the tracks. Again, it sounds simple, it sounds obvious, but it's like the #1 best way to get faster in Forza Motorsport 7, okay? There's a whole ton of tracks in here, there's lots of different variations of the tracks as well. So by learning the tracks, you're going to get faster, you're going to know your way around the track quicker, you're going to have a drop on your rivals, and I think it actually increases your connection to the game. You're going to enjoy it more in the long term as well.
Totally agree.
It's giving me wanting to play this so bad.
So good, yeah.
So good.
It's really good.
I love it. I love it. I'm dying to play now.
Good. Right. So tip number 4, mod cards. So mod cards in Forza Motorsport 7 are a brilliant way to earn extra credits in races. You can apply these before you go into a race. You get them through loot crates. You get them as you unlock races as well. So they're going to add credits for you. So we've talked about mods a little bit as well there. So credit bonuses, unlock more cars, progress through the game faster, and also pushing you to try new things as well, right?
Yeah, try some different stuff.
Okay, right. So let's move on to tip number 5. Download some tunes.
Ooh, I like this one. I love tunes.
And I don't mean like music for the car when you're driving around. Okay. This is a reference to the hardcore Forza Motorsport community, who are absolutely incredible at what they do, from painting cars and designing cars through to tuning cars, right? Now, and this is the thing, there are people out there playing Forza who know this game inside out. They know cars inside out. They're big car nuts in real life as well, and they totally understand what makes a car tick, right? So they spend all their time building these amazing tunes for your favorite cars.
Oh, so you can download other people's and then you don't even have to worry about trusting yourself.
So definitely check out, those amazing tuners within the community. There's like Johnson, Lightning, and Raceboy, who we just talked about as well. They've publicly shared their tunes, so you can race exactly what they are racing when they are winning all those races and doing an amazing job, okay? This is another tip that will increase your lap times. It's going to make you faster, and I would like to make the case that this will change the way you play driving games forever. It's actually going to increase your enjoyment of driving games from now until
the time.
infinity. Yeah, and it is race in manual. Take off automatic gears and race stick. I feel more engaged and connected to my racing games because you're constantly thinking. You're no longer just like brake and accelerate. You're thinking, okay, which gear do I need to be in? How do I keep my revs high? So you can really start watching that rev counter and see where it's getting right to the very edge of its limit. That's when you want to shift. Manual with clutch is tip number 7, right?
Yes.
So if you've mastered manual, if you're comfortable with that, adding manual with clutch is going to save you more time, but actually it's not that great of a leap. Adding clutch in Forza means that you have to do an additional button press before you shift up or shift down gears. It's just another button. It's default mapped to left bumper and handbrake is on the A button. But what you can do is swap them around. So if you're running gear shifts on X and B, then you've got A there, so all you're actually doing is adding a press of A at the same time as you press X or B.
Interesting.
Right? That's me not
sausage
concentrating,
fingers.
Right? Well, that's it. But basically all you're doing is you're rolling A onto X.
Yeah.
You know, on this side it's A onto B like that. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you're basically just saying A to X, A to B that way, right? Now, shortening that distance between you pressing the clutch in and shifting obviously makes it quicker. The game will shift quicker with a clutch than it does with just manual gears. So you're making sure that your revs are higher, you're getting the most pull out of your engine, and you're shaving off again, you know, halves of seconds of every lap time.
But every time.
Yeah, every single time you change gear, you're saving some time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming
on. No worries.
Joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks very much.
Oh my God, everybody give it up for Grand Boy, AC Bongos.
Hey, see you later.